Welcome. My name is Rijke Bouwman and I'm a senior research consultant at the Reputation Institute in the Netherlands. I work for Dutch and international companies regarding communication and reputation issues. Today I'm presenting my vision that the parent behind the brand becomes more visible and therefore more valuable. So let's start with an example. This is Becel. This is butter from Unilever. Recently it was sued twice. One, because groups say there's a medicine in it and that it therefore should be stripped from supermarkets. Secondly, their claims to fame that it decreases heart and vascular diseases is not true. But not Becel was sued, but the parent behind, Unilever. And this showcases that problems at brand level become more and more problems at corporate brand level. And therefore, I'm saying the corporate brand reputation needs to be managed. In this age, this calls for more transparency, increasing criticism, places the corporate brand in more visibility. So in short, we can distinguish three key characteristics between a brand and a reputation. Now, first, a brand is a product, while a reputation concerns the whole organization. A brand focuses on consumers in order to stimulate purchase intentions, while a reputation concerns multiple stakeholders in order to obtain and maintain their license to operate. A product or product brand is there for a life of a product, while a reputation is there for the life of a company. So let's look at these two lists. On the one hand, you see Interbrand's best global brands in 2013. On the other hand, you see Reputation Institute's best reputations. You see some similarities, but you see also some differences. So for example, let's look at McDonald's. McDonald's is on the 7th place in Interbrand's best global brands. Yet, in terms of reputation, they're not in the top 10, they're not in the top 20, they're even not in the top 50. Their reputation is below average. They score below the industry norm and far below their industry peers. Why? Their brand is well established, but obesity is partly attributed to McDonald's. You see here a 9-year-old kid. She got media attention in the US for addressing questions to McDonald's regarding their food and nutrition. So, this show is showcasing again that the reputation of McDonald's, in this case, the brand is well established, but the reputation is vulnerable, is endangered. So I'm not saying a reputation is everything. No, not at all. A brand is essential, but I believe that a brand and a reputation should go hand in hand. This is a grid we produced with all the data we collected with the Reputation Institute over the past year among thousands of companies. And you see on the one hand the reputation score, on the other hand the brand strength or the brand preference. And what you see is that companies that have a high reputation and a high brand strength have 24% more intentions for purchasing, 24% more intentions to work for your company, 22% more to invest in your company compared to companies in the low grid. You can also see that, for example, Microsoft, which has a high brand strength, but in terms of reputation is below average, there is a distance which they can maximize their value, their intangible value. So I believe if you combine a product brand and a corporate brand reputation, you can maximize your intangible values. Let's first start with what is a reputation. Well, reputation is an emotional bond. It's a feeling that people have about your company. To divide your company in the bad, the ugly, the good, the bad, and the ugly, sorry. At Reputation Institute, we measure that with 4 questions. First, do you admire the company? Do you trust the company? Do you have a positive feeling about the company, and do you esteem the company? Well, that good reputation ensures you that you have a license to operate, that customers are loyal to you, that the media tells a true story, that politicians listen to your point of view. So more in detail, reputation is a perception. So it does not have to be true. It's a perception that people have about your company to the degree to which it fulfills its promises. Reputation is only relevant in the context of a comparison, and reputation is a summation of what a group or a subgroup believes to be true about your company. This is how we measure reputation at the Reputation Institute. So in the middle you have the emotional bond, the feeling. On the left side are the rational explanations of that feeling, like high quality products and services, or performs better than expected, is a well-organized company. And on the right side are the behavioral consequences of that reputation. So their willingness to purchase your products, to trust you in case of a crisis, or to recommend you. So this is a list which I showed you before of the largest companies in the world. Well, BMW has the first position with a 78.4. Well, if we look at the companies around the world, a 60 is an average score, a 70 you have a very well reputation, and around 80 you're a world champion. So in the second place you see Walt Disney, and thirdly Rolex. So do you see something notable about this list? These are all consumer or retail products. What our analysis has showed is that a reputation is impacted by the industry in which it is active. So companies in the consumer products always have a high reputation. Their average is a 73.2. If you look at the tobacco industry, they always have a low reputation. So on average, these companies score a 43. So not only the industry is a factor that impacts your reputation, but also the benchmarks. So you see here, these are Dutch financial insurance in the Netherlands. The orange line is Nationale Nederlanden, which scores above the industry norm. But if you look at the peers, you see there's still room for improvement. Furthermore, reputation is a long-term investment. This is Ahold, which is a Dutch corporate brand. One of their flagships is Albert Heijn. You probably know it's a supermarket. Well, in 2003, they were accused of malpractices for fraud and scandal and side letters, and their reputation fell enormously. But within 4 years, they recovered, and in 2011, they are back on their former level, which is at 70 plus, which is a very high and good reputation. Then, of course, the social media. This is one of our most recent analyses in which we can showcase which touch points, so contact moments people have with your company, have an influence on your reputation. So in the middle, you see the reputation attributes that have the highest impact on a particular company's reputation. Well, this is an example for one of our clients, but this view is consistent with what we see with other companies. So what you see is that traditional sources are still highly important, of course. Also, social media has a high impact on the attributes that drive your reputation. And on the right side, you see the supportive behaviors again. So, be good and tell it was the adagium of the 20th century. Led and Burson were founding fathers of the public relations. But today, you have to be more. You have to be socially relevant. Only if you can anticipate as your company on the social context changes, you can make a difference, and make a difference for your company, and make a difference for the context in which you're active. A leading example is Johnson & Johnson. Johnson & Johnson saw in their market data that in 2020 there would be a nursing shortage of 500,000. So they started the campaign for nursing. to attract new nurses for the profession. The results are tremendous. In a few years' time, the nursing shortage decreased, and now they have even a nurse educator shortage, and now they're starting a new campaign again. I'll just give you a short. Oh, yeah.
What do you got?
This is the ad.
Sir, you hear me?
One of their ads.
We need a portable X-ray, please. I'm a nurse. I believe in the power of science and medicine. But I'm also human. And I believe in stacking the deck.
This is how they anticipated on the social context. Now on to how can you strengthen a brand and a reputation. In 2007, we performed a study for AkzoNobel, who at that time acquired ICI. And the question that arose was, do they need to put AkzoNobel on the labels or ICI? Well, we performed an experimental study in more than 10 countries among business consumers, purchasers, and the general public. We showed them ads with the product brands of ICI. Dulux is a product brand of ICI. And we endorsed them with the corporate brands. So AkzoNobel and ICI and vice versa. So you got 4 scenarios. And we extracted from this risk and benefits analysis, which showcasing what the added value is of endorsing the product brands with the corporate brand. So this is the case of AkzoNobel. So you see if the product brand evaluation is low, but the AkzoNobel evaluation is high, you even win 5% new clients. So if you have a high product and a high corporate brand, 75% of your customers say, well, you know what, we stay loyal, doesn't matter what you do, we're still gonna buy your products. So based on these matrices, our conclusion was that AkzoNobel was the strongest brand, much stronger than ICI, and evoked more purchase intentions. On the other hand, the ICI product brands were very strong, but it didn't wait for the effects of endorsing everything with AkzoNobel. So partly based on this study, they started to endorse all their products from ICI and from AkzoNobel with AkzoNobel. Does that mean you have to endorse all your product brands with your corporate brand? No, it does not. There must be a fit between the product brand and the corporate brand, otherwise there could not be a positive spillover effect. Furthermore, people need to have a low risk assessment of the corporate brand, otherwise there would be a negative spillover effect. And there must be an information asymmetry. People must have the perception that the corporate brand adds value to the product brand. And otherwise, continue product branding. But in all, I believe in this era, a brand and a reputation should be combined, and it can add more value to the corporation. That's it. Yeah, here are the conclusions again.